Hi love, have you ever watched a video and you thought it was the most amazing video that you've ever watched, and then you go right into the comments and you feel like you watched a different video from everyone else because of all the hate comments? Like, how did you get that to that? How does this comment apply to the video that we both just watched? And that is how I feel whenever I watched a Nara Smith video. Like, it's so classy, it's so soothing.
Today my toddlers wanted cereal for breakfast again, so I decided to make some cinnamon toast crunch since that's my husband's favorite cereal and the kids have never had it. So I combine all of my dry ingredients into a bowl, give that a really good mix, and then slowly add some oil and water. I incorporate everything with my spatula and then move on to using my hands. Then I add in the cinnamon and make sure it's incorporated before putting my dough on some parchment paper. I use another sheet of parchment paper on top and roll it out as thin as I can. Once it's rolled out, I'm using a pizza cutter to just cut it into squares or rectangles. You can do it in whatever shape you want. I ended up making 2 batches, sprinkled it with some sweetener. You can use sugar. I used monk fruit sweetener. I put it on my parchment paper and baked it in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes before I turned it down to 250 and baked it for another 35. I pulled it out the oven, let it cool, and then broke the squares apart before adding them to bowls with some milk. And this is now a favorite in our house.
It's healing my inner child, really. But when you go down to the comments, people say the most vile things where it's like, how did we get there? And again, that's how I feel with some of Elsa Majimbo's videos.
So my manager is very Hollywood. He is 100% a Hollywood manager, and I want to tell you guys what that's like. So when I first started blowing up, I had a lot of agencies reaching to me. I had a lot of, especially modeling and fashion agencies, there were a lot of them reaching to me, and it never felt right to join any of them. And also, I didn't want to jump into something like that, because if you get with the wrong one, that's it. That is it. So I was like, I'd rather be with none than be with the wrong one. So I waited, and then one day this guy followed me, and I had seen him before because he managed one of my favorite artists at the time, who I absolutely loved his music. So I was like, oh, I know this guy. So I texted him. I texted him back. He was like, hey, you're so funny. And I texted him back. We started chatting, and he
that lady is oiling. Do you see? I was inspired by her for this look, like just oiling and the jewelry, like definitely inspired by her. She is telling her stories about her time in Hollywood. And yet in the comments, there's always someone laughing about something. There's always someone making fun of something. There's always someone saying that they don't believe what she's saying because, hell, a black, dark-skinned woman has met Beyonce, has been in spaces that we cannot even fathom. So therefore, she must be lying. But anyway, today we are going to discuss how Elsa Majimbo and Nara Smith have in common, and why particularly black women aren't allowed to just flourish and be successful without there being some sort of theory or some sort of backlash because of their success. Now, if you aren't sure why I'm wearing sunglasses, you just need to watch my previous videos. I explain everything. Anyway, Nara Smith is a 22-year-old model and content creator. She is German, South African. She lives with her husband and 2 kids in Los Angeles. She is married to a famous supermodel, which I didn't know was famous, called Lucky Blue Smith. Basically, they are loaded. So she's a model, she's a content creator, she's married to another model. They're basically millionaires at this point, and she's only 22 years old and is currently pregnant with her 3rd child. Wow, she is younger than me. But anyway, and then we go to Elsa Majimbo, who is also 22 years old. She comes from Kenya, but currently lives in Los Angeles, I think, as well. Not sure where, but like she lives in America. She is a content creator and a writer and a comedian. She's just so many things, and that is just amazing. She first blew up, I recall, in 2020. I think we all remember her videos.
If you don't spend your money, then who will? What if all your money ends? I've been broke before. I didn't die. If I spend money, I'm paying taxes. So I'm building my country. It's called being patriotic. I'm practicing for being rich.
I remember seeing her on Rihanna's page. That's why I was like, oh, this girl is going far. As soon as I saw her, I was like, okay, sis, is going far. And what did she do? She went far. So right now she's rich. She makes story times. She oils her body, entertains us, makes us laugh, and she's basically living her best life. Now you might wonder, these people sound amazing, right? Like, why would they be getting some sort of negative vibes? We're about to get into that. So when it comes to Nara Smith, one of her videos that went viral of her making cinnamon buns from scratch is where people, the negative commoners, started to draw attention to her. In fact, let's watch the video together.
My husband is on a 14-hour flight home right now, so I decided to surprise him by making some cinnamon rolls. He's been asking me to make him some for so long, so I thought now is the perfect time. I added all of my ingredients for my dough to my KitchenAid. I made sure to incorporate everything one at a time and slowly as well, just so everything can be kneaded in properly. Once my dough was smooth, I pulled it off the hook and formed it into a ball and let that rise for about 2 hours until it doubled in size. I obviously had to try the dough, which was delicious. Then I punched it down to release all the air and rolled it into what should have been a rectangle. Once that was rolled out, I made my cinnamon and sugar mixture and brushed my dough with a lot of melted butter, sprinkled my sugar on top, rolled all of that up, and then cut it into equal pieces. I put those pieces into my baking trays to rise for another 30 to 45 minutes until they're about double in size. After 45 minutes, I checked on them and they were perfect, so I popped them in the oven, and while they were baking, I made my cream cheese frosting. And the timing couldn't have been more perfect because Lucky was walking through the door right as I was pulling these out. They were perfectly soft and gooey, and he ended up having half of that sheet pan, so I think my surprise was a success.
What is your first thought when you watch that? I'm thinking, I wish I could do that. I am inspired. That's as far as I'm thinking. Great video, double tap, scroll past, that's it, pretty much. But for some other people, this is what they think of it.
I feel like the lifestyle and the outfits and how they dress and how they act and their aesthetic is coveted, but I don't think it's realistic at all. I honestly don't think she's putting her toddlers to bed in a sequin dress, you know? I don't think that they dress like that all the time. I literally think that they put on these types of clothes to do these videos. Maybe it's just because she's from a different country and maybe they dress like that where she's from. I don't know. But this man, he always looks like a greaser from The Outsiders. And she's just a little odd. Like, she said she liked Cherry as a girl's middle name. And she said her husband didn't like it. And it's like, well, duh. You give a Cherry as your daughter's middle name. You've pretty much picked her career choices when she grows up. I mean, come on. Cherry, you know what that sounds like. An exotic dancer's name. Like, they look like they come out of a catalog. And I just think that must be so tiresome. Like, props to them. A lot of work must go into it, you know? Y'all are lucky if I put makeup on for my videos.
And the most hate speech that was there is that she is giving out unrealistic standards. Her content is very curated. Like, no one actually does that in real life. And when it comes to Elsa's hate, she does a lot of story times these days. And she has a really beautiful fashion sense that I wish I could get into if I had the money, honestly. But whenever she's posting one of the story times, she'll mention big names like Beyonce, like Naomi Campbell, all that kind of stuff. In the comments, I feel like we don't believe what she's saying. Yeah, that happens in Dululiland. No one ever seems to believe what she says. But there's pictures of her with these people. There's documentaries of her with these A-listers. She talked about almost getting kidnapped or her life being in danger because someone has been stalking her. And the comments are just filled with people saying that you're a liar. There's no way that can happen to you. Like, everyone just discrediting what she's going through.
Last year in June, I'm walking on the street, I'm on a walk. And then as I go up to one of the stop signs, this black G-Wagon with red leather seats pulls up. The window rolls down, this Middle Eastern man, black hair, black beard, brown eyes. He puts his head out and he's like, hey, can I hop out of my car and talk to you? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, it will take a few minutes, I promise. And I was like, oh, okay. So he parks his car right next to the stop sign. He hops out and then he comes to me. So the first thing he says, literally all he said for the first minute was, you're so beautiful, babe. You're so hot, babe. You're so hot, babe. So I was like, this is so weird. And the next thing he did, he was like, he asked me out, which I was like, I don't think so. Like, it's so weird. This whole time, the only thing you've told me is like, you're so hot, you're so beautiful. The next thing he tells me, he's like, name any amount. He was like, I'll give it to you. He was like, name any amount. So I'm just like, when you pay someone to hang out with you, that's called having an escort. So I just, in my mind, I was just like, how pathetic. And I walked away. Cool. I start walking, I'm walking, I see his car again and again and again. So I'm like, oh my God, this man is crazy. I hide amongst the trees. Once his car disappears, I call a car, I get in the car and I go home. The next day, he follows me. The next day, I'm walking. So this is what usually happens, right? I walk a lot. I walk like an hour, 30 minutes at a time. I walk a lot. And I've met a lot of my fans walking. And a lot of people, especially on my street in LA, know that I walk almost every day. So he starts following me, he's following me. So what happens is, right, I'm walking, this guy will just circle around. He'll just go around the block, come back into the main street where I'm walking, circle and go back, circle and go back for like 40 minutes at a time, 50 minutes at a time. He will just follow me, nothing else. Shit, like I will literally, yeah, so leave that be. I will literally see him and he will keep following me. This happened for like months on end. And then I was like, no, this has to stop. So the first thing I did, I texted one of my friends, and one of my friends was like, oh, I can get you a PI. He was like, this happened to me, actually. This friend of mine is quite famous too. So she was like, this happened to me. And she was like, let me give you this PI's contact. So she puts me in contact with the PI. I speak to the PI. The PI puts me in contact with the detective. I speak to the detective, and she tells me, like, it's really hard to prove stalking. And unless you're, like, in danger or he's on your property, like, I promise you there's not much we can do. But, like, we can put down a statement, blah, blah. And she was like, you can call me at any time. And she told me the next time you see him, like, call 911 immediately. So the next time I saw him, that's what I did. I called 911 immediately. Unfazed. He follows me the next day and the next and the next. And yesterday is when he followed me until my house, and I was like, enough is enough, because I had already gone to the internet to the tried. I posted it on TikTok and just I was like, hey guys, this guy's following me. Like, I don't feel like I'm safe. I'm so scared. I posted it on TikTok. People on TikTok are very helpful. I went on Twitter. Kenyans on Twitter started saying, oh, someone could never follow as dark as you, blah blah. They started making, colorism, sexist comments, as like not shocked Kenyan men would say that, not shocked at all. But that's when I was like, I have to take it to Instagram. And then that's when I took it to Instagram, because they were just like, yeah, we do not care. So I was like, yeah, my life is in danger and I need the public's help. So that's when I came to Instagram, and that's how I ended up yesterday, like asking for people's help. And the night ended with, I spoke to one of my friends. He's the head ambassador in America for Kenya. And he was telling me, like, we'll solve this together. So at least I have that on my side. And he lives quite close to me. And I know his home is open to me. So I feel like I have a safe place to go. Yeah, but that's about the guy who's been stalking me for 8 months straight since last year, June. And he literally followed me a couple hours ago. Literally a couple hours ago.
Before we even discuss that, what do these two women have in common? Besides that, they're both black. The world is not ready. The world is not comfortable seeing black women in luxury. I have seen this play out when it came to Jackie Aina, when she said that she does custom jewelry, and instead of buying from the brand or something like that. And some people are like, it's tacky. But Arab women have been doing that for a long time. It's a very normal thing to do, but because she's doing it, she's a black woman, people just trying to discredit that she's actually wealthy. I think from seeing that, then they make themselves feel better. Like, okay, then she's not as wealthy as she seems, since she's customizing her own jewelry. She's not just buying it expensively from a brand or something like that. Just that sort of discrediting, her wealth, But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Nara Smith and Elsa. Nara Smith being married to a white man that a lot of white women find desirable. I think her life probably parallels with the hate that Meghan Markle was getting as well. She's married the prince that all these white people wanted, all these white women wanted, and now people are mad. Hold on. So because Nara Smith represents something that they have always had, and now she's having it easy and looks gorgeous while doing it, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them question her intentions. It makes them question her integrity. It makes them question everything about her blackness, everything about that, because she is living a life they want, right? And the same thing when it comes to Elsa. She is a beautiful dark-skinned woman. They don't want her, and that's just not white people against Elsa. That's also some Africans as well, because she has talked about this, that it is mainly people from Kenya that are talking about her color of her skin, are bringing her down and not believing her stories, or even I've seen a lot of comments like that coming from her own people. So there was this explanation that this girl coined. Let me put it on.
When I was 18, my dad took me to the bank. We sat down at the bank.
When I started seeing these videos of Elsa, first thing I thought was like, oh my god, I love this, because that's precisely the type of jewelry that my guides have been telling me to wear. See my pin video. And then I listened to the stories, and then I got bored. In fact, I think I got agitated. And then I realized agitation, I wish I'd made a separate video about this before, because it's a whole other topic, right? When your brain feels irritated about something, it's because your neural pathways are going in a way they are not used to going. It's like, think about, those weeds fields, right? There's a path that everyone walks, right? And then that gets open and you can walk freely. But if you decide to take a different road and you walk through the grass, it gets very uncomfortable. Your brain works in the same way. If you see things you're used to seeing, your brain is okay with that. But once you start to see things or hear things or perceive things that you're not used to, your brain is gonna get agitated to be like, I feel like I'm on the wrong path. And that is what used to agitate me about Elsa's videos, is that I was seeing a young, beautiful Black woman live in luxury, an unapologetically African girl live in opulence. And my brain, I'm going to be honest, has never seen what Elsa has shown us. So what did my brain do? It fought it. So I'd watch, and then I'd move through the video, watch, and then move through the video. And then I had this epiphany that, you are being agitated because you are not used to this. So you feel uncomfortable. And that's also why she's been receiving the "we miss old Elsa" backlash, because people aren't used to seeing Black girls in luxury. And then I started now watching for manifestational reason. Like, okay, girl, okay, no, I know what to try to manifest next. I know what to, he just gave me an insight, because sometimes you'll be in these situations as you start to travel, and then you just don't know what's normal, what's not, like a story about approaching, like calling the person out when she didn't get a first class seat. Now I know that, okay, I can do this because Elsa has given me like an inside view. And I decided to stitch this one in particular because today I woke up having a yearning that I wish someone would talk to me about money. I wish I had a wealth coach, because I don't understand my relationship with money right now. It's so strange. Who else but the woman who is really leading us? Like, she is a pacemaker for us Black African girls. Who else to deliver a conversation lightheartedly, looking as gorgeous as always, about money? So I just felt like she was my answered prayer, specifically today, for what I was yearning for this morning. So those of you who Elsa is lying, and she's come with receipts now. Remember, Elsa's lying. Elsa this, Elsa no, she's too. My friend, it's just you're seeing something you're not used to seeing. Your brain is rejecting it. Maybe this is your opportunity to train your nervous system to be like, this is normal, not only for Black girls, but it could be normal for myself.
And I think she made such a valid point. Like, we are just not used to seeing a Black woman just flourish. So therefore it is unnatural. Our brain doesn't want to accept it. Our brain is against it. So it feels uncomfortable. Okay, so therefore we bash on it, therefore we talk down on it, therefore we don't believe it, therefore we regard it as, just a fantasy. We don't want to believe that it's actually true. So we have to make theories. And when it comes to Elsa speaking about how she was stalked, the amount of Black people that were not supportive of her just tells their own internalized anti-Blackness. Why do I say that? Why do you think that she's faking it? Because in your head, she is not desirable. She can't be kidnapped. She can't be desired to the extent where her life is in danger. She can't be a damsel in distress, because who could? Who would? You can't believe her stories, because To you, someone that looks like that can't be in positions like that. Oof. When you see Nara Smith living a beautiful life and she's not struggling or showing her struggle, it's uncomfortable because Black women are supposed to struggle to have what she has. You know, they can't just have it. They have to have some sort of uphill battle to be able to even assimilate with that. I would say Nara Smith represents white feminism that is gate kept. The idea that tradwives are exclusively just for white women, and that if a Black woman is doing it, it's toxic because Black feminism, as the white people might see it, is, you know, the independent boss lady, you know, who does everything, you know? So her exercising her right to choose what she wants to do is making people uncomfortable. And I have no idea if that statement made sense, what I just said, but it made sense in my head, okay? Should have typed it in ChatGPT. I actually did just type it in ChatGPT, and that it can write it in a more concise manner. So it said that Smith, a Black woman, isn't allowed by white feminism to live the tradwife lifestyle. White feminism preaches the idea that you can do it all, but it emphasizes the need to struggle and be real. Because Nara Smith, a Black woman, is living the life they secretly desire but can't have, they bring her down with hate comments in the name of "this is not realistic." In reality, they struggle to acknowledge the intersectionality of feminism. Yay, ChatGPT, making me smarter. So essentially, when it comes to her, it's like, yeah, preach feminism, you can do whatever you want, but if you do what we don't think is right, then we don't like you. Like, didn't we say feminism means that you as a woman are allowed to be whatever you want to be, no judgment? But like, as soon as someone does something we don't agree with, feminism goes out the window. Like, we're doing the same things. It's like the people who think that a woman wearing a hijab is oppressed because she chooses to, but like she said out loudly, like, I choose to wear this, she has a right to. But like, you like imposing, you know, your views on feminism on her, like, no, you're being oppressed, take it off. Like, no, she has a right to do that. Like, that's where I'm looking at it from. And I know there's like arguments like, yeah, she's Mormon, all that kind of stuff. To do a little research on the Mormonism and all that kind of stuff. And this is what I found out. Yes, they did not allow the Negroes, you know, to be in the church. You know, they are cursed. That's 100% true. But I saw that they changed their doctrine to now allowing the Negroes in. Again, the feminism part. She chooses to be there. That is... her religion is her thing. Everyone has something negative to say. Everyone has something negative to say about Christianity, you know, Islam, Hinduism. Like, everyone has something, you know. So that is not. I can't hate on her comment section. Like, if you don't agree with Mormonism, don't engage with it. If you hate it, don't engage. Don't. If you don't like it, just leave it. Why are you leaving a comment? Because you leaving a comment, you hating on her, talking about her, is just going to make her pop up on your For You page again. Because that is engagement. TikTok is saying that you love her. So she's just going to keep on coming up. Like, girl, And not only that, when it comes to Elsa as well, like, her living her best life, or telling the stories that she says. Like, look at this comment right here. Like, what the heck? You know, like, you don't have to convince yourself that someone is lying just because you don't believe that people can be that successful. You know what I'm saying? It's such a terrible thing to do, to assume that someone is not living their truth because, you know, everything that you see online is fake. But like, sometimes people are really living their real lives and their lives look perfect. Nara Smith is a beautiful girl. Elsa is a beautiful girl, and they're gonna come online beautiful. Like, do you want them to make themselves ugly on purpose so that you feel better about yourself? Like, I never understood that. Influencers or content creators shouldn't feel the need to show their bad side just so that you can feel better about yourself. They are allowed to just show you the good parts of their lives. Because when they do show their bad parts, you are going to take that and use it against them later on. And that's just the truth. Whenever someone's getting canceled, you know, people dig deep in the bad things that they used to post. So why should people expose themselves? You know, it's such a thing that just makes sense, but like some people just don't get it. I just don't understand that. And for the people that pretend that they don't know what content creation is or how it works, I need you to go outside and touch grass. Because sometimes one of the comments that I see on Nara's video, like, where are her kids? She doesn't want to post her kids. Why should she show you her children? Do we need to have this conversation again? How children should not be exploited online for content just so that you can feel better? Like, why do you want her kids to be online? That is such a weird thing to say. Like, where are her kids? They are maybe with a nanny. She is rich. Like, do we forget that? Do we forget that she makes money off TikTok videos? She makes money off modeling. She is a working mother. Do we forget that? That is her content. Why do you want to see herself cleaning? Her content is about cooking. Her content is about cooking. Like, that, it's definitely like the opposite of Jackie Anna. Jackie Anna shows herself cleaning. You don't ever see her cooking. Does that mean that she doesn't cook? Does that mean, like, that is her content? That is what she chooses to show you. That doesn't mean that other things aren't there. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird. People are so weird. Like, show us doing, like, what? What the heck? What the heck? You know, what the heck? Some people are even complaining that her pregnancy looks too perfect. Like, what do you want her to do? Y'all weird. Like, honestly, some people are just so weird. Like, they should not be allowed online. Jerry's final thoughts. Black women should be allowed to come online unapologetically themselves. They shouldn't have to prove their wealth. They shouldn't have to prove that they have it easy in life, or that they shouldn't have to prove that they have to struggle. If they're not struggling, they don't have to come online. Like, I struggle. No, they did not. I watched the interview for Elsa. I think, what is it? Here. And she was like, it just happened. It just happened. You know, and sometimes that's just how it is. You know, and you need to just be okay with that. Some people are living their best lives and it's okay. You need to check in your own heart why you seeing Black women succeed hurts you. And I'm not just speaking to white people. I'm speaking to everyone who hates on these women. Why? Deep down, why? You need to solve what's in here. There's a lot of self-work that we need to do here. A lot of self-work. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about this video. Do you guys even watch Nara Smith? Was I speaking to myself? But either way, I think that these women are definitely paving for a new type of Black woman that needs to be showcased more. One that's just like unapologetically fabulous, and they don't have to put in any effort. They just get what they get. You know, I think we need that. We definitely need that. But anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.